Adrian Todd Zuniga. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight. As that voice just said, that was my voice. My name is Adrian Todd Zuniga. I'm thrilled to welcome you to Literary Deathmatch San Francisco, episode 51 at the JCM. You guys, let's just, when I say 51 at JCM, I'll just say M. Then you guys have to celebrate like the Niners just beat the Seahawks in the playoffs. And I said JCM because I can never get these letters right. It's CJM. So let's just ignore that. CJM! There we go. That's the kind of enthusiasm that, you know, I don't even know why I bother, because tonight's show is going to be so excellent in so many ways. You're going to be screaming and freaking out without my prompting. So for those who have never heard of this show before and accidentally walked into a museum and are just like, let's just see what they have to offer. This is the 306th Literary Deathmatch in world history. We have done this show in 51 cities, if we count Calgary as a city. Otherwise, it's just 50. Come on, Canadian people. Get on board. Calgary's, it's a lovely place. Apparently way cooler than Edmonton. That's what I was told by people. Calgarians, that's how you pronounce that. I wanted to talk very briefly about a man named Vladimir Nabokov. That's how he would have had it pronounced. We just call him Vladimir Nabokov. He had a Jewish wife, which makes him relevant to this show. So relevant. But I just started reading Lolita, and I know I'm aged, and that I should have done this years ago, but I'd never heard of it. Nobody told me, so I finally just picked it up. It's an incredible book, but one of the great joys of my life and my job, which is this, weirdly, is I get to research goofy stuff. And so I've been researching Nabokov and just different things about him, like he has a Jewish wife. And there's this thing about him that is so amazing. Well, before I say that, I'm like, you even know what I was about to say, and now I'm already retracting. All right, Woody Allen has brought himself into my brain for a minute, and now we'll see how this goes. But in an interview, they were talking to him about how he actually spoke English before he spoke Russian, even though he was raised in Russia. He wrote 10 books in English, 10 in Russian. And they said, yeah, you spoke English before, is that weird or whatever? And he said, I was a perfectly normal trilingual child. That's the laugh that you have to give that, but I think that's so funny. So anyways, here's something that you can take to a bar with you and use to try to flirt with somebody. His dog, which was named Box 2, was actually a descendant, this is totally true, a descendant of Anton Chekhov's dog. It's amazing. That's so true. I have to look up this thing he said about music because I don't want to misquote the man, but he said this amazing thing about music. He said, it's an arbitrary succession of more or less irritating sounds. I love that. Let's move on from Nabokov just so I can talk about this suit. This suit was made specifically for this event. I went to China and I had some suits made while I was doing a show in Shanghai, and then I wore it. I put it on tonight for the show, and I was very excited to wear it because I wanted to dress like an Israeli flag to pander to the audience. And then I realized I look like I'm in that thing you do. Like, I feel like Tom Hanks is going to storm through the door and be like, we're doing a sequel, and I don't know what else. Here's how tonight is going to work, just so you know. We have 4 incredible writers. They're going to be reading their own work, some of it out of this amazing book that is on that poster that also matches this suit jacket. It's Unscrolled. They're going to read for 7 minutes or less each. After that, there's going to be 2 at a time, so there's wine in between, so don't panic about hearing too much literature at once. Then we're going to go to the judges. We have 3 all-star judges in the categories of literary merit, performance, and intangibles. They are going to say strange and wonderful things about these writers. They're going to pick a winner from each round, and then we're going to do a finale that is so fit for this space that your hair will curl like Malcolm Gladwell's. That's the ultimate plan. So without further ado, one other thing I want to say, because I just think this is weird. There was a show called Breaking Bad on TV that got canceled, and Michael C. Hall was in this video. We had asked him to ask Aaron Paul to do the show, and he texted him. He's like, hey, there's a show, Literary Deathmatch. Would you judge? And he said, what is it? And Michael C. Hall told him, it's a highbrow, lowbrow literary game show clusterfuck. So that's effectively what you're in for. I'm going to introduce the judges. We're going to get this show on the road. I probably haven't said half the things I'm supposed to. I think we'll get to it. Thank you for being here, by the way. It's really nice. Already there's a programming change. Literary merit and performance has been flopped if it says that, but we have like 6 different programs for the show because I'm inconsistent about sending these lovely people programs. I was going to say representing, I meant to say judging literary merit. She's the author of short story collections Iron and A Cute Tombstone and a novel We Monsters. Her work is published in 6 countries. She's a 3-time Pushcart nominee and a recipient of the 2013 Acker Award. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Zarina Zabrisky! And judging performance. He's the director of education at Collab. Is that Collab? Keva. Damn it. Well, wait for it because I'm going to nail this other thing. You guys are going to be really fast. A Bay Area organization that helps people set up Jewish learning groups in their homes. He attended rabbinicals. Damn. I'm getting there. Rabbinicals. We do this show in Finnish and all these other crazy languages, and this somehow is harder. The English. Rabbinical school at Yeshivat Chovevei Torah. I might not even say that right, but I feel proud. And was ordained in 2007. He's writing his doctoral dissertation on religious and secular jurisprudence. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. It's Rabbi David Kasher! And judging intangibles. His first comedy album, The NATO Green Party, spoiler alert, was released by Rooftop Comedy. He's been named SF's Best Comedian by the SF Weekly, Huffington Post, and CBS. He wrote for Totally Biased with W. Kamau Bell on FX and created Iron Comic, a comedy game show he hosts with the wonderful Moshe Kasher. Ladies and gentlemen, it's NATO Green! Thank you all for being here. Just to introduce you, I wanted to ask you each a question. The microphone is to your left, Zarina, and we'll start with you. In 2086, after a historic literary career, you'll experience one of these book-related deaths. Which is the most likely? Number 1, you'll be decapitated by a copy of Saul Bellows' The Adventures of Augie March, flung from a car window. Number 2, you're crushed to death by all the copies of Ulysses that people act like they've read. Or 3, other.
Ulysses.
Zarina Zabrisky, ladies and gentlemen, literary merit. Thank you very much, Zarina. Rabbi, Cormac McCarthy had this to say about Henry James and Marcel Proust. He said, "I don't understand them. To me, that's not literature." So I asked, what do you not understand that everyone else seems to think is so great? Like, for me, Downton Abbey is that thing that I kind of despise, but the youngest daughter, who's playing a Jewish New York lawyer in her new film, is kind of an obsession of mine. But yes, feel free to handle that microphone.
Okay, so the thing that I don't understand, and I'm going to offend the San Francisco crowd who likes to think of themselves as real and true and culturally sensitive, but The Wire, like, I don't get it. It's like boring. Nothing ever happens. It's like, you see? I just like, what happens? Like, something happens at the beginning, and then the last episode, they just talk in the middle.
I'm weirdly with you on that. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi David Kasher!
First of all, I'm sorry I'm not taking Taro. I just felt like I needed to get that off my chest.
2-time judge, Nato Tignataro. Nato, playing Ayn Rand's favorite parlor game, Kill, Fuck, or Marry, which of these literary items would you kill, which would you marry, and which would you fuck? A Conway Stewart pen used by the late Christopher Hitchens, a first edition printing of Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, and a shitty childhood filled with pain and suffering.
Okay, so fuck shitty childhood with filled with pain and suffering, marry the pen and kill the Kafka thing. I would also volunteer my own as a parent, which is fuck, marry, kill, Angelina Ballerina, Fancy Nancy, or Pinkalicious. So, it's a parent's literary preference. Those of you who don't have kids will understand someday.
Nato Green, intangible!